Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Serpent and Zilliqa. Let's go. It's going to be an amazing run from Zilliqa from here onwards. And again, I want to start off and kick off by comparing some of the other technologies compared to the Zilliqa network. Some of the updates that are happening on the news as far as, what's going on and some of the testing that have been done successfully since the updates that have occurred. Look at the charts. Look at Atani, look at, some of the volume that is happening right now and what we can see on the hourly, 15-minute, 4-hourly chart. So let's get right into this because when prices are down, you need to understand what you hold. And for me, I know what I hold because of the research that I've done on this particular project. And it's phenomenal, the speed, the transparency, how quickly it's growing, how quickly the volume is growing, which is really, 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 really interesting. So first things first, Zilliqa is heavily backed in Singapore, like very, very much so. So a lot of support for Zilliqa. And in this particular article, they talk about Zilliqa, why they're supporting it. In 2019, Zilliqa concluded its initial coin offering ICO and successfully raised $22 million in ETH. And then from there, the ecosystem and community has grown significantly, processing almost 12 million transactions since its launch in 2019. It's got a flourishing community of over 150,000 enthusiasts, more than 780,000 wallets, and expanding network to over 1,000 developers. So a growth that is huge numbers. And one of the things I like about it is the community, the community behind it, all the projects that are happening behind the scenes. It is phenomenal what they're up to. And then over here, the article continues to talk a little bit more. ZilSwap, first decentralized exchange on the Zilliqa blockchain, went live in 2020 and has since seen a 24-hour trading volume growing to over $11 million every 24 hours. The Zilhive, which I've spoken about in the past, which is all about helping entrepreneurs use the Zilliqa network to their advantage, which is important to have more and more people come out and utilize the network. So the trading volume has increased almost 10x from the beginning of May, and something is brewing. So what I mean by that is something's in the air. Something is happening. I mean, if you look at what I'm showing you here, is this. Look at that. Look at the volume difference at the beginning compared to the volume difference now. I mean, that is a huge difference in volume. And why is volume important? Well, volume is important because it tells us how many transactions are going on every single day, but also tells us the popularity of it. And so this spike in transactions, something is brewing. What are they not telling us? So, what kind of companies are perhaps maybe already testing the Zilliqa network? So it will be very, very fascinating once we understand why such a high spike in transactions. Zilliqa came out also saying about its carbon footprint, how they are very much eco-friendly as a blockchain. And of course, these articles and this communication is all happening because of what occurred yesterday with that statement made by Elon. So carbon footprint, carbon usage is important. It's very, very important. It will be important from now until the new regulations come out. And once those regulations come out, you guys will really find out who are the winners and who are the losers when the new rules come out and new regulations. So over here in this article talks about its proof of ethics, the consumption, so the Bitcoin energy consumption index, also the Zilliqa, how it works. It's a very interesting article, but if you type in Zilliqa carbon footprint, you'll find the article on medium.com about the difference between the networks and how they vary so much. So very, very interesting. Certainly to keep an eye on and very clever from the Zilliqa development team. The other news as well is the Zilliqa Google searches show a spike in interest in the project. So I covered this off as well, and I just want to remind you that on Google, Zilliqa is trending and it is at an all-time high as far as searches or people looking into it. So that is very important. We know that there is a correlation between Google search and people investing in the projects. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on that, how that develops. And in this article, they just speak more about that and how it's going. The network upgrade that has been completed, well, here are some of the tests. They said that it was going to get to about 29 seconds. It's actually 28 seconds. So it's gone even a little bit better than what they originally had predicted. So the transaction to the V8 system is done. 28 seconds is a phenomenal difference compared to 44 that it used to be from a technical perspective. And these are the important bits. These are the important dates, the important things that occur when a company develops something, claims it's going to be 29 and actually achieves 28. It just builds trust in the community about what they're up to and what they do. Once we jump into Atani, what I can show you here is the volume that is happening every single minute. So if we look at the bottom here, you can actually see what is going on from a volume perspective, which is really, really cool to check out, and how many transactions are happening all the time. This here at the moment is a 1 hour chart, but if I bring you, like, for example, to a 5-minute chart, you might be like, okay, cool, we're going up, and then we slowed down, we went down a little bit, and now we're going up again. I generally tend to not look at these 5-minute or 15-minute or 30-minute charts. I always zoom out to a minimum of 1 hour, and I can see here that we had 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. So 4 times that we've hit the lowest that we've been in the last 24 hours, and now we're spiking up again. So are we in a sort of like a channel now where we go up to here and then we continue to go down? Are we going to 19 and then come back down again? Let's see what that brings. But for me personally, obviously we got to break above this 19 cents, 19.8, and then continue to push forward. If we zoom out even further and go into the 2 hour charts, similar sort of scenario that it's telling us. And then when we go into the 4 hour, we can see that we might be in a channel, and this may continue for a little bit until we break out of that 19.6 and then continue to push forward. And then as I look further ahead into the daily chart, for me the daily chart tells me from what I can see here that this bottom of 17 flat, I don't think we're going to hit that again. I think we've hit it, and I think we're now moving on and continue our run and continue towards that 25 cents and start to push forward. And if we look at if we look how price rises, then it drops down into sort of like a pattern, then it goes up again, then it goes down, then it goes up. So from my end, from what I'm seeing here, I think we've hit the lowest of 17. Last time the markets melted, we got down to as low as 11. So now we only went to 16.9. So now we're ready to push forward and continue. And then the volume that I can see is looking healthy. Is looking really good. So I will be showing you more about how I use this software, what some of the things that I do with it, and how some of the indicators work. This is a demo account to turn it on, just to show you, some of the things that I do with it. Completely free software to use, by the way. And what I like about it is that I've got all the exchanges on here. So I don't have to just rely on Binance. I can also look at the liquidity on all different other channels and what is going on and how it's impacting the market. So it's really cool to use, and saves me a ton of time instead of having to log on to multiple different exchanges. But more on that over the weekend. I'll be sharing with you more about it and how it works, and why I've decided to use it, because it actually has been saving me a lot of time. So drawing some charts, what can we see? BTC versus Zilliqa. What I can tell you here is, it's looking pretty clear to me that, we were breaking out, and once we break out, it's going to break out really, really fast. So from my perspective, $1.50, still absolutely within reach. I have not been given any other suggestions that we won't be. As we head into 2022 and 2023, you will see 20s and 40s happen on the Zilliqa network, because it is phenomenal from a network structure and what they're building and how it's all going. This is sort of like a timeline about when these things can happen. Like I said, you're not going to see a $20 Zilliqa in 2021. I extremely want to emphasize that. But I think $1.50 throughout this bull run is certainly not out of the question. And if we zoom out even further, from a perspective of between now and November, there is no reason why we can't see a $3.20 Zilliqa if we start to go absolutely parabolic. But from where we are and sort of frames that we're in at the moment and the sort of timeline, I think, by November, December, that we could provided a lot of other factors as well. So how the market is going, how Bitcoin's rallying, how ETH is rallying, how the overall industry is going. You know, like if we're hitting $5 trillion industry, $6 trillion industry, there are lots of variables. But for me, as I've always said, $1.50 is absolutely not out of the question. I think from a bull run perspective, we're going to hit that. Where do we go from there? Let's get to 150 first, and then we'll continue to rally. Again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I want to give you, based on my knowledge and experience, what I think is going to happen. And then later on in the month, I'll be giving you, you know, somewhere where take profits should be done, and you know, where do we draw the line, and when do we start cashing out a bit. You know, provided, you know, we're going to be smart about it. But if you did learn something new today, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thank you all so very much. And I can't wait to see you on the next one.